14th final piece of the puzzle leading to the modern lithium-ion battery. 40. In 2010, global lithium-ion battery production capacity was 20 gigawatt-hours. 41. By 2016, it was 28 GWh, with 16.4 GWh in China. 42. Global production capacity was 767 GWh in 2020, with China accounting for 75%. 43. Production in 2021 is estimated by various sources to be between 200 and 600 GWh, and predictions for 2023 range from 400 to 1,100 GWh. 44. In 2012, John B. Goodenough, Rashid Yazami and Akira Yoshino received the 2012 IEEE Medal for Environmental and Safety Technologies for developing the lithium-ion battery. Goodenough, Whittingham, and Yoshino were awarded the 2019 Nobel Prize in Chemistry for the development of lithium-ion batteries. 45. Jeff Dahn received the ECS Battery Division Technology Award, 2011, and the Yaja Award from the International Battery Materials Association, 2016. In April 2023, CATL announced that it would begin scaled-up production of its semi-solid condensed matter battery that produces a then record 500 Wh/kg. They use electrodes made from a gelled material, requiring fewer binding agents. This in turn shortens the manufacturing cycle. One potential application is in battery-powered airplanes. 46, 47, 48. Another new development of lithium-ion batteries are flow batteries with redox-targeted solids that use no binders or electron-conducting additives, and allow for completely independent scaling of energy and power. 49. Design. Cylindrical Panasonic 18650 lithium-ion cell before closing. Lithium-ion battery monitoring electronics, overcharge and deep discharge protection. Generally, the negative electrode of a conventional lithium-ion cell is graphite made from carbon. The positive electrode is typically a metal oxide. The electrolyte is a lithium salt in an organic solvent. 13. The anode, negative electrode, and cathode, positive electrode, are prevented from shorting by a separator. 14. The anode and cathode are separated from external electronics with a piece of metal called a current collector. 50. The electrochemical roles of the electrodes reverse between anode and cathode, depending on the direction of current flow through the cell. The most common commercially used anode is graphite, which in its fully lithiated state of Li-C6 correlates to a maximal capacity of 1339 C/G, 372 mR/G. 51. The cathode is generally one of three materials: a layered oxide, such as lithium cobalt oxide, a polyanion, such as lithium iron phosphate, or a spinel, such as lithium manganese oxide. 52. More experimental materials include graphene-containing electrodes, although these remain far from commercially viable due to their high cost. 53. Lithium reacts vigorously with water to form lithium hydroxide, LiOH, and hydrogen gas. Thus, a non-aqueous electrolyte is typically used, and a sealed container rigidly excludes moisture from the battery pack. The non-aqueous electrolyte is typically a mixture of organic carbonates such as ethylene carbonate and propylene carbonate containing complexes of lithium ions. 54. Ethylene carbonate is essential for making solid electrolyte interface on the carbon anode. 55. But since it is solid at room temperature, a liquid solvent, such as propylene carbonate or diethyl carbonate, is added. The electrolyte salt is almost always lithium hexafluorophosphate, LiPF6, which combines good ionic conductivity with Chemical and electrochemical stability. Hexafluorophosphate is essential for passivating the aluminum current collector used for the cathode. A titanium tab is ultrasonically welded to the aluminum current collector. Other salts like lithium perchlorate, LiClO4, lithium tetrafluoroborate, LiBF4, and lithium bis, trifluoromethanesulfonal, imide, Li-C2F6No4S2, are frequently used in research in tabless coin cells, but are not usable in larger format cells, 56, often because they are not compatible with aluminum current collector. Copper, with a spot-welded nickel tab, is used as the anode current collector. Left, AA alkaline battery. Right, 18,650 lithium-ion battery current collector design and surface treatments may take various forms: foil, mesh, foam, deloyed, etched, wholly or selectively, and coated, with various materials, to improve electrical characteristics. 50. Depending on materials choices, the voltage, energy density, life, and safety of a lithium-ion cell can change dramatically. Current effort has been exploring the use of novel architectures using nanotechnology to improve performance. Areas of interest include nanoscale electrode materials and alternative electrode structures. 57. Electrochemistry. The reactants in the electrochemical reactions in a lithium-ion cell are materials of anode and cathode, both of which are compounds containing lithium atoms. During discharge, an oxidation half-reaction at the anode produces positively charged lithium ions and negatively charged electrons. The oxidation half-reaction may also produce uncharged material thioamines at the anode. Lithium ions move through the electrolyte, electrons move through the internal circuit, and then they recombine at the cathode, together with the cathode material, in a reduction half-reaction. The electrolyte and external circuit provide conductive media for lithium ions and electrons, respectively, but do not partake in the electrochemical reaction. During discharge, electrons flow from the negative electrode, anode, towards the positive electrode, cathode, through the internal circuit. The reactions during discharge lower the chemical potential of the cell, so discharging transfers energy from the cell to wherever the electric current dissipates its energy, mostly in the external circuit. During charging, these reactions and transports go in the opposite direction. Electrons move from the positive electrode to the negative electrode through the internal circuit. To charge the cell, the external circuit has to provide electric energy. This energy is then stored as chemical energy in the cell, with some loss, e.g. due to Coulombic efficiency lower than 1. Both electrodes allow lithium ions to move in and out of their structures with a process called insertion, intercalation, or extraction, deintercalation, respectively. As the lithium ions rock back and forth between the two electrodes. These batteries are also known as rocking chair batteries or swing batteries, a term given by some European industries. 58, 59. The following equations exemplify the chemistry. The positive electrode, cathode, half-reaction in the lithium-doped cobalt oxide substrate is 60, 61. The negative electrode, anode, half-reaction for the graphite is the full reaction, left to right, discharging, right to left, charging, being the overall reaction has its limits. Overdischarging supersaturates lithium cobalt oxide, leading to the production of lithium oxide, 62, possibly by the following irreversible reaction. Overcharging up to 5.2 volts leads to the synthesis of cobalt, 4, oxide, as evidenced by X-ray diffraction. Smiley 63, in a lithium-ion cell. The lithium ions are transported to and from the positive or negative electrodes by oxidizing their transition metal, cobalt, Co, in Li1Xu2 from Co3 plus to Co4 plus during charge, and reducing from Co4 plus to Co3 plus. During discharge, the cobalt electrode reaction is only reversible for X and LT 0.5 X in mole units, limiting the depth of discharge allowable. This chemistry was used in the Li-ion cells developed by Sony in 1990. 64. The cell's energy is equal to the voltage times the charge. Each gram of lithium represents Faraday's constant /6.941, or 13,901 coulombs. At 3V, this gives 41.7 kJ per gram of lithium, or 11.6 kWh per kilogram of lithium. This is a bit more than the heat of combustion of gasoline, but does not consider the other materials that go into a lithium battery and that make a lithium batteries many times heavier per unit of energy. Note that the cell voltages involved in these reactions are larger than the potential at which an aqueous solutions will electrolyze. Charging and discharging. During discharge, lithium ions, Li+, carry the current within the battery cell from the negative to the positive electrode through the non-aqueous electrolyte and separator diaphragm. 65. During charging, an external electrical power source, the charging circuit, applies an overvoltage, a higher voltage than the battery produces, of the same polarity, forcing a charging current to flow within each cell from the positive to the negative electrode, i.e., in the reverse direction of a discharge current under normal conditions. The lithium ions then migrate from the positive to the negative electrode, where they become embedded in the porous electrode material in a process known as intercalation. Energy losses arising from electrical contact resistance at interfaces between electrode layers and at contacts with current collectors can be as high as 20% of the entire energy flow of batteries under typical operating conditions. 66. The charging procedures for single Li-ion cells and complete Li-ion batteries are slightly different. A single Li-ion cell is charged in two stages. Smiley 67, 68. Constant current, CC. Constant voltage, CV. A Li-ion battery, a set of Li-ion cells in series, is charged in three stages. Constant current. Balance, only required when cell groups become unbalanced during use. Constant voltage. During the constant current phase, the charger applies a constant current to the battery at a steadily increasing voltage, until the top of charge voltage limit per cell is reached. During the balance phase, the charger /battery reduces the charging current, or cycles the charging on and off to reduce the average current, while the state of charge of individual cells is brought to the same level by a balancing circuit until the battery is balanced. Balancing typically occurs whenever one or more cells reach their top of charge voltage before theater S, as it is generally inaccurate to do so at other stages of the charge cycle. This is most commonly done by passive balancing, which dissipates excess charge via resistors connected momentarily across the cell S to be balanced. Active balancing is less common, more expensive, but more efficient, returning excess energy to other cells, or the entire pack, through the means of a DC-DC converter or other circuitry. Some fast chargers skip this stage. Some chargers accomplish balance by charging each cell independently. This is often performed by the battery protection circuit /battery management system, BPC or BMS, and not the charger, which typically provides only the bulk charge current, and does not interact with the pack at the cell group level, for example, e-bike and hoverboard chargers. In this method, the BPC /BMS will request a lower charge current, such as EV batteries, or will shut off the charging input, typical in portable electronics, through the use of transistor circuitry while balancing is in effect, to prevent overcharging cells. Balancing most often occurs during the constant voltage stage of charging, switching between charge modes until complete. The pack is usually fully charged only when balancing is complete, as even a single cell group lower in charge than the rest will limit the entire battery's usable capacity to that of its own. Balancing can last hours or even days, depending on the magnitude of the imbalance in the battery. During the constant voltage phase, the charger applies a voltage equal to the maximum cell voltage times the number of cells in series to the battery. As the current gradually declines towards zero,